Hello, good afternoon, those that are on the other side of the screen. Julia here. Uh, yeah, coming over to have some yoga fun tonight. As we start to get settled in here, you go ahead and grab yourself 2 blocks, a blanket, and I would grab a strap of some kind, whether it be a yoga strap or if you don't own one. You can always use like a belt or a scarf instead for our practice tonight. I'm just going to give it a couple more minutes so that everybody has time to come and join in for tonight's class. Cool. So, yeah. You go ahead and take the time to go set up all your stuff. And at nighttime, I usually do provide music. So, if you want to play your own music on your end, feel free to go ahead and provide that for yourself. Other than that, just take the next few moments while we wait for everybody else to join in on tonight's session. Oh, and I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit more light here as well. There we go. For those who are now signing in onto class, I would go ahead and start to get some props ready for our yoga session tonight. We have a yoga strap. I am using my athletic jump rope as my strap today, so hopefully that influences you to be creative and see what you have at your home if you don't have your own yoga strap with you. 2 blocks. You can use blocks, books, 2 blocks, and then a blanket. So I'm going to go ahead and just pull up a picture here, what we're going to be working with today. All right. So for tonight's class, the asana that we're going to be working with is going to be Etta Pada Kundanyasana. And I have a little image of the pose that we are going to kind of work with tonight. So in this image, it almost looks like it is a balancing, an arm balance split pose in which, don't worry, there are several different modifications that we can do to achieve this pose. And for the 6 p.m. practice, we are going to kind of work with some of the breakdowns of this asana. And then if you decide that you want to stick for the 7 o'clock class, the 7 o'clock class is going to be a little more challenging. And in the 7 o'clock class, we're going to see that asana more in some sequencings. And so, of course, we're going to do some pose breakdowns as well in the next class. But essentially, the reason why I picked this asana to work with today is because last week we did a pose breakdown on how to do a side crow. And so just for a quick visual on what a side crow is, it's just your crow but on your side. And so from a side crow, we can transition into a Kundanyasana 1. But that one is a little more challenging because in that twist, you then spread your legs apart where they almost crisscross. into the Kundalini 1, while with the Kundalini 2, that one, we don't have our hips crossing and we're not going into a twist to achieve that pose. And so just like with the warrior sequence, we have warrior 1 and warrior 2. And for a lot of us, warrior 2 feels much better onto our hips and it's not as challenging. It's going to be the same with this pose. It's a little funny how they kind of number these poses, because I feel warrior 2 would be warrior 1 since it's easier, and you would think it would go by the difficulty levels. So for today, we're going to transition into the Kundalini 2, which is going to be easier than number 1, again, since we're not twisting. And I was trying to attempt the Kundalini 1, but with the 1, you have the bottom leg crossed over and then the top leg towards the back of the room. So from here, the hips are kind of twisted. But we're going to do 2, in which with 2, as we kind of go through the pose breakdown, we're going to transition it from a lizard pose, because in my opinion, I think that is the easiest way to achieve Kundalini 2. And so I have like my lizard legs going on, my leg in the back over here, positioning my arms like I would in a chaturanga, and then spreading my legs apart. And in here, I'm not twisted with my legs. And so we are going to be focusing on the second one I did and not the first. And so there are different variations that will make it easier, that at least you get the compound of what the pose entails. And with this pose, it's an arm balancing pose. It's core strengthening, as well as this helps us get more in tune with how we can balance with our legs and with our hips in these difficult type of asanas. And so that's what we're going to be focusing on tonight. So at the beginning of your practice today, let's go ahead and find a little bit of some spinal opening from the whole spine, but especially in the lower spine, so we have more room to wiggle around here. Go ahead and I will set my music. And with your blocks, I would preset your blocks to the front of the mat here. And then just place your strap to the side. Done. And then for our grounding pose today, you could just go ahead and find yourself onto your knees. Maybe a blanket if that's more comfortable. And you go ahead and come into an active child's pose where your toes are going to be curled instead of tucked. Bring your tailbone down and slowly sandwiching your stomach onto your thighs. Arms towards the top of the room here. Top of the mat. Good. And so as you breathe here, we want to find some length through our spine. So actively bringing that tailbone towards the ground. Maybe acting if there's a bowling ball, as if there's a bowling ball underneath your stomach here. And stretching your arms towards the top of the mat. You are more than welcome, if you wanted to use your blocks for some leverage, to get a little deeper to your arm sockets here. And over here, start to actively press your hands into the ground and bring your tailbone towards the back of the room, crown towards the floor, stretching out your spine, feeling the length in through our rib cage or our thoracic spine area. Taking 3 full deep inhalations in through the nose. Exhalation with the mouth. 2 more. On the next breath, walk your hands over towards the left side of the room, getting a little side body action going for 3 breaths. Yeah, then walk your hands over towards the right side of the room. Side body stretch for 3 breaths. Good. Then slowly walk your hands back to the center, keeping those toes curled here. And slowly walk yourself into this kneel position. Good. We're taking a deep inhale. Bring your arms up towards the ceiling, palms to meet. And we're going to exhale. Bring the palms into the heart center. You're more than welcome to set an intention for your practice today. Cool. So then as we move on with our practice, I would like for us for here to go ahead and place, you can untuck your toes if you need to. I just want us to place our right hand onto our stomach and our left hand onto our lower spine and straightening out through our spine. Chest is lifted, very minimal tailbone tuck here. And I want us to find some core engagement, and I want us to do 5 breaths of an Ujjayi breath. So some of us may have practiced Ujjayi breath before, but for some of us who have not, an Ujjayi breath, it's a breath where we kind of breathe through our diaphragm, and we have our diaphragm and our core area just slightly activated. And as we exhale, it's almost like we have a clearing of the throat, almost like a Darth Vader sound. So getting a little close to the camera here so that you can hear it in a more auditory level. Taking a deep inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. So as you exhale, you still have that core engagement and you are clearing your throat. Inhaling through the nose. Exhale through the throat. Still finding that core engagement. And do this 3 more times because this is the breath that we utilize when we go through these balancing poses so that we can keep our core engaged as well as still being able to breathe and not hold our breath. And then after you've done your 5, you can then bring your arms back to the sides and inhale, rise, arms up towards the ceiling. Good. And as our arms are to the ceiling, you create that Kali Mudra and inhale, side bend over towards the right side of the room. Wonderful. Inhale up towards the ceiling and then exhale for 3 breaths to the right, left side. And inhale, palms up. Exhale, cactus arms, finding that lift through the chest. And then we're going to inhale, twist over to the right side. Left hand to the thigh, right arm behind. Lift up through the spine for 3 breaths. And inhale, rise, arms up into our cactus. And then inhale, twist over to the left side, right hand to the thigh, left arm behind. 3 breaths. Yeah, then inhale, rise, arms up towards the ceiling. Good. Then the arms are towards the ceiling. Let's go ahead and find ourselves into a tabletop position. Let's do 5 sets of cat-cows. So a generous tabletop here. Inhale, scoop your shoulders back. Lift up through your chest, tailbone into your cow. Exhale, roll through the shoulders, chin to chest into your cat. Good. Go ahead, form around your own pace, your own breath. And if you wanted to find some extra movement, maybe by finding some hip sways, you're more than welcome to bring that to your practice. Anything that allows you to organically move and groove, finding the spinal extension. Good. And then after you've done your cat-cows, you go ahead and curl our toes, shift forward, supported plank, engage the core, inhale, full plank for 3 breaths. Pressing your hands into the mat, shifting forward here, but squeezing onto your glutes. We're going to shift forward, chaturanga, flipping your feet into your upward facing dog. With the exhale, hike the hips up, downward facing dog. Go ahead, pedal out each heel to the ground. Good. And as you root through the heels, allowing yourself to hip hinge more. Good. And then 2 more times. We're going to wave through our body, round through the shoulders, coming into plank, shift forward, chaturanga into your upward facing dog. Then exhale, hike the hips up to your downward facing dog. Hollow out through the spine. Good. And then one more time, inhale, wave and round through the shoulders into plank, chaturanga, flip the feet, upward facing dog. Then exhale, downward facing dog. Good. Inhale, shift forward into plank, drop the knees down, and send the left leg back. Good. Toes to the ground, getting a hamstring stretch here. Kickstand the right leg to the right side, flat through the left foot, inhale, rise, left arm towards the ceiling, and then pendulum swing to the front of the room for 3 breaths. Lifting up through the chest, getting a good side body stretch. Good. Next breath, inhale, rise, both arms towards the ceiling, lower the left, inhale, right arm towards the left side. 3 breaths. Good. Rise up, both arms, and then very gently place the right hand down. Keep the left arm up, half moon variation. 3 breaths. Keep the left foot flexed. Bend at the left knee. Go ahead, grab onto the left foot. Inhale, press the left foot into the hand. Open up the hips and spine for 3 breaths. Half moon variation. Go ahead, bring the left arm down. Keep the left leg lifted. Kickstand the right leg. Square the hips. Point the left toes back. Engage the core. Inhale, shift forward and bend at the elbows. Touch your nose to the mat. Inhale, push up. Bend the knee to nose. One breath. Good. And then slowly release. Knee to the ground. Do one side of cat-cow. Good. And then coming back into your plank, let's go, or into tabletop. Let's send the right toes back. Stretch out the hamstring for 3 breaths. Good. Kickstand the left leg to the left side. Trap the right foot. Inhale, rise. Right arm towards the ceiling. To bend, pendulum swing down to the front of the mat for 3 breaths. Really open up the rib cage here. Eye gaze towards the thumb. Good. And on the next breath, with the right arm towards the ceiling. And then head the left arm to meet. Lower the right arm and inhale. Reverse, bringing the left arm to the right side of the room. For those 3 breaths. And then inhale, rise, both arms. Lower the left. Keep the right arm up as we come into half moon variation for 3 breaths. Keep that right foot flexed. Good. And we can go ahead and bend at the right knee. Grab onto the right foot. Inhale, press the right foot into the hand. 3 breaths. Wonderful. Extend the leg out. Very slowly. Bring the right hand down. Kickstand the left leg in. Flex the right toes back. Lift up through the quad. Exhale, release. Knee to the ground. Come into a couple cat-cows to reset yourself. Head. And after you have done those cat-cows, we have the blocks here to the front of the mat. And let's go ahead and keep them nice and flat. Nice. So having the blocks here, we're going to go ahead and come into a plank position. And as we're here in the strong plank, rooting the tailbone back, crown forward, we're going to bend the knees. Inhale, hover the knees just above the ground, and then straighten the legs. So we're going to bend the knees, hover against the ground, as if we're in a supported plank. And then we're going to straighten it back and keep that core engaged and use that. Draw your breath. And do 5 rounds. Making sure their shoulders are right above the wrists. Good. And then after the 5 times, downward facing dog, hips up to the ear. Good. Go ahead and root through the heels, hollow through the spine. About 3 more breaths. Good. And we're going to come forward back to the plank. Bring your forearms to the blocks here. And if you need to fist your hands, so you go ahead and create a fist. I'm just going to hike our hips up towards the ceiling into dolphin plank. And just very slowly walk our toes towards the blocks here, sending your chest down, stretching out through the spine, hips up in the air, opening up through the shoulders. And you can go as deep as you'd like. If this is your dolphin plank, that's cool. You can go as close as you would like. 3 more breaths. Drop the knees to the ground. And come into a child's pose with the arms onto the blocks. 3 breaths. Good, and then you can go ahead and place your hands onto the blocks here. And come back into a plank position. And from here, we're just practicing utilizing our core in these practices. So find that core engagement. And we're going to do some plank walks here. So we're going to meet our hands onto the floor. Right hand first, left arm to plank. Good. On the next breath, inhale, right hand to the block, left hand to the block. Exhale, right hand to the floor, left hand to the floor. Engage the core and try to keep your back straight as you are moving here. And go ahead and do 5 more reps. So keeping the front core engaged, the back core engaged, trying to keep your chest level to the floor, trying to keep your hips into place. Good. That's off the ground, engaging through the quads. And after you've done your 5 walks, downward facing dog. Go ahead, hollow through the spine. Slowly walk your feet to the front of the mat into that Uttanasana, that forward fold. And into that forward fold, you can press your hands into the block. Kind of bring a slight bend to the knees if you'd like to sandwich your stomach to the thighs, creating more of a hinge through the hips rather than through the spine. And you can very slowly start to straighten out through the legs, stretching out the hamstrings, lifting up the kneecaps. 2 more breaths. Pressing onto the blocks. Inhale, find that half lift. Then exhale, forward fold. Slight bend to the knees, palms facing out. Bring your feet together here. Bring your hips back and then inhale into your chair pose. 3 breaths. Palms together in your chair. Inhale, send the left elbow to the right thigh. Press your palms together. Lift them over the right shoulder. 3 breaths. Inhale, palms to the heart center. And then twist over to the opposite side. 3 breaths. Find that length through the spine. Engage your core. Use that Ujjayi breath. Inhale, rise into chair for 3 breaths. Once more. And then fully inhale, straighten out the legs, back bend if you wish. And palms together. Exhale. Samasthiti. Nice. Go ahead and shake it out through your hips. Good. And we're going to go ahead and spread our feet more than hip length apart here. So as we spread it hip length apart, send that tailbone back here. And then we're going to inhale, rise, arms up towards the ceiling. And then we're going to send our tailbone back and bring our arms forward like we would in a chair. As if we're trying to grab a box here. And we're going to exhale, hip hinge, keeping our arms forward, hinging by the hips, tailbone up, hands pressing into the ground, bringing the tailbone back. Good. You can go ahead and go as deep as you would like into your wide-legged forward fold. And maybe kind of sway your hips side to side. And the next breath, we can walk our hands to the left leg for a little bit of a twist and some side body bending. 3 breaths. And we can walk ourselves to the right leg. 3 breaths, side body stretch. Good, and we can walk our hands to the center of the mat, flat right palm, inhale, rise, left arm to the ceiling. Good, exhale, release. Inhale, right arm towards the ceiling, twist. Exhale, release. 2 more times on each side. Inhale, left arm rises. Keep the tailbone actively back and release. Inhale, rise, right arm. Release, 1 more time. Good. Very gently, you can spread your feet just a little bit wider here and bringing your heels in, big toes out. Good. So coming into goddess leg preparation, bring that tailbone back, engage in the core, and inhale, send your arms forward for 1 breath. And then all the way up into your goddess legs. Good. And then just gently having your hands onto your thighs and just swaying your hips side to side, whatever feels good here. Maybe straightening one leg if that feels a little better for you. Just to get a little more action here into the hip sockets, getting a little bit of that hamstring stretch, and getting a little warmed up, a little active. 2 more breaths. Good. And then we're going to come back into these goddess legs. Heels in, toes out. Finding that straight spine here. Finding that core engagement. Good. Then we're going to get deeper into the hips, making sure that we aren't just like sticking our booty out, that we aren't severely tilting our pelvic, that we're just nice and straight down. And then inhale, come into your goddess arms. 3 breaths. Hands onto the knees. Inhale, guide the right shoulder down. Eyes over the left. Good. And then inhale, goddess legs. Left shoulder down, looking over your right. 2 more times on each side. At your own pace, your own breath. Inhaling as we lift. Exhale as we dive deeper. Good. And then we're going to grab our blocks. And with our blocks, we're just going to walk towards the left side, coming into pyramid legs here, both toes pointed out, finding that halfway lift. Just to stretch out through the hamstrings, making this pose easier for us. Good. So same that left hip crease back, right hip crease forward. And we're going to find external rotation out of both hips. So both of them are going to spiral outward, almost like your glutes are coming in, helping us hinge better at the hips. Nicely done. And then from this pyramid pose, you're going to keep the left hand onto the block and inhale, rise right arm into Trikonasana. 3 breaths. And very gently release. Let's go ahead. Bend the left leg and inhale, kick the right leg up. And then meet it to the left, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Sending the left leg back for our pyramid pose. Keeping the right leg straight. Flexing through the quads, lifting up the kneecaps. For 3 breaths. Outward spiral of the hips. Good. Keeping the right hand onto the right block. And inhale, rise left arm towards the ceiling. Trikonasana. For 3 breaths. After the 3rd breath, slowly release, squaring the hips. Bend the right leg and inhale, kick the left leg up. And exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Good. Let's go ahead and send the left block, a foot in front of the left. Send the right leg back, lifting up the right arm. Straighten out through the left leg, come into half moon variation. Or actually half moon, full pose. Right leg lifted. Keep the right leg flexed. We're going to firmly press the left foot down. And slowly rise the left arm. Bring the arms to the sides and very slowly start to square the hips, coming into warrior 3. Use the block if you need to. Press the palms together and very slowly guide the right knee up towards the chest. Good. Flex through the right foot. Place the right foot on top of the left thigh. Press the palms into the heart center and come into figure 4 chair. 3 breaths. And then inhale, rise. Right knee up towards the chest. Good. Exhale. Warrior 3. Hands onto the blocks. Kick the foot all the way up towards the ceiling. And then meet the right leg with the left. Then go ahead, check out the hips. Placing the right block in front of the left, or right block, a foot in front of the right. Send the left leg back. Open up the left arm and inhale, half moon. Keep the left foot flexed, 3 breaths. Good. Very slowly, lift up through the right arm, bring it to your side. Very gently square through the hips, bringing that left hip crease down. Arms are behind for 3 breaths. And very gently press the palms together. Inhale, bring the left foot up towards your chest. Flex the left foot and come into figure 4 chair. 3 breaths. Very gently inhale, rise. Bring the left knee up. Coming into your warrior 3. Hands to the blocks and hike your left toes up as high as you can towards the ceiling. Good. And then place the left foot Right by your right, shake it out. Yeah. Let's go ahead, hands to the floor here, into your Uttanasana, and let's send the left leg back, coming into a lizard pose. So both hands are going to be into the inside of the right foot. Good. And I'm going to kind of go at an angle here so that you can see it better. So we're going to send the right knee out. And from here, you can place the left knee, top of the left on the ground. Use the blanket if you need to. And you can take that right hand to the right knee and just very gently guide it over towards the right pinky toe, and eye gaze over the right shoulder. 3 breaths. After 3 breaths, we're going to gently bring that knee back in. Hands can either be straight, maybe forearms onto the ground, or possibly even putting your forearms onto blocks here. Coming into a lizard pose onto the ground. 3 more breaths. And so from here, we're going to transition into the Kundalini number 2 variation. So find straightening out through the arms and lifting up the back knee. And this is the easiest way that I find getting into it. So possibly I would grab a block and place it onto like the sideways setting and seeing if you lean forward where your head is going to be, because that could help keep some balance for us as we go into the Kundalini pose. So from here, place the block, straighten out through the arms into your lizard pose. And then we're going to bend at the elbows like we would in crow or chaturanga. Good. And then we're going to place the head onto the block, placing your thigh on top of the elbow like where our tricep is. Good. And then very slowly lifting up the back foot off the ground, maybe coming into a little side angle will help a little better. Yeah, so hugging the elbows in. Good. And so the left elbow can be hooked onto the left core, and you can either keep the knee bent or you can straighten out through the leg. And it's okay if your face is on the ground, if this is a way for you to challenge your quadriceps and your hamstrings here. And whenever you're done exploring, just bring the feet down, bring the knees in, and go ahead and stretch out your arms into child's pose. And just taking a few breaths. Okay, and then coming back up here. And so we kind of just went through this little mini pose breakdown for the right side, and we'll get more in depth with the left side, adding a little bit of some cheat codes here. So as we and we can actually just redo the right side too. And so we're going to do that. We're going to redo the right side. So from here, from that lizard pose, some of the things that can help us as we start to navigate ourselves more into the Kundalini pose, number 2 variation, is that we can use our elbows as hooks, and we can hook them into our core and or possibly into our hips to kind of use that as a little bit of a cheat to keep us balanced here. So over time, as we work more with our core and with our upper body strength, as well as with our quadriceps strength, we are able to lift ourselves even higher and use more of our arm balancing to achieve the pose. So that is a way to keep us balanced, as well as having a block and your head pressing into a block so that your face is squished on the floor. If your head's touching the ground, that's okay, because that will help us train our hips to go higher and help us train our core here. So now that we know some of the little cheat codes, let's go ahead and find our plank position. We're going to go back to the right side here. So as we're here into plank, we're going to go ahead, inhale, bend the right knee, and place it the outside of and place our right foot outside the right hand. Bend the elbows down and bring the tailbone towards the back of the room. So crown is being stretched forward, tailbone stretched back. Go ahead and start to bend a little bit at the elbows and kind of hook your right elbow underneath your right thigh, your left elbow into your left core, possibly having a block to assist your forehead here. Good. And then very gently engage the core. You can keep the leg bent to start. Lift up through the left leg. And if you feel spicy, you can straighten up through the right leg. And you go ahead, drop the feet down when you're done exploring. Go back to child's pose with the palms face up or possibly together. Do some wrist therapies here. This is definitely an asana that requires a good amount of arm strength, not only core strength, but being able to move and manipulate your movement with your core as well. So why don't we go ahead and navigate over towards the left side here. So keeping the blocks up in front in case we need them. Good. We're just going to go ahead and come into a lifted lizard. So right knee is lifted, left foot is at that 90 degree. Placing the left foot towards the left corner of the mat. And you can either start by keeping your arms straight. Good. Keep bringing your right knee, top of the left foot to the ground. Point the left toes to the left corner of the mat and send the left knee towards the left pinky toe. Grab the left hand and place your left hand onto the left knee here. And inhale, guide the left knee towards the left pinky. And I gaze over the left shoulder for 3 breaths. Setting that knee in and placing your forearms to the blocks or to the ground into your lizard pose. 3 breaths. Good. Go ahead, straighten out the arms. Placing the blocks where your head could possibly be. Good. And then lifting up through the right knee. You're going to keep the left foot to the outside of the left hand. You're going to shift forward, bend at the elbows. Good. Hook the right elbow into the hip. Left leg on top of the left thigh. Either keep the left knee back or straighten it. And straighten your right leg back, lift up through the hips. 3 breaths. Good. Place the foot to the ground. Knee in. Child's pose. And this is a challenging asana, so don't fret. If it's difficult to get your hips off the ground or to straighten out through the legs, it's good to, especially if it's the leg that's balancing on the thigh, it's good to kind of keep it bent so that you can work with your core more so that over time you build that strength and you build that momentum to keep yourself lifted, and then you can straighten out through your leg. That's how I learned, and that's what helped me a lot. Good. So why don't we try it, the preparation onto the left side again, but coming in from a plank pose. So the hands, fingers are spread. Come into plank. Inhale, engage, send the tailbone back, bend the left knee up and place the left foot on the outside of the left hand. Bend the elbows, shift forward, hook the right elbow in, lift up the core, lift up the toes. Either keep the left leg bent or straight. And then drop the knee down, both knees down, child's pose. Stretch out through the arms, through the hands. Wrist therapy if you need them. And now you can go ahead and push these blocks off the mat. We can go ahead and find ourselves onto our spine here. Do a couple twists before we meet in Shavasana. So we're close to the end of class, so go ahead and hugging your knees in, rocking side to side. Good. If you have your strap nearby, you can go ahead and grab your strap. Good. Hook the strap onto your right ankle and straighten out your left leg. And then from here, you can inhale, straighten your right leg up towards the ceiling. Grab the straps with the left hand, right arm to the T. Good. And the next inhale, we're going to guide that right hip over the left, keeping the shoulder to the ground. Gaze over the right shoulder for 3 breaths. Good. Inhale, right leg up towards the ceiling. Switch the straps to the right hand, left arm to the T, and inhale, open up the hips, over towards the right side. 3 breaths. Good. Inhale, bring the leg up towards the sky, left leg to follow, bring it in towards the strap, staff pose, and then lower the right leg all the way to the ground. Good. Bring the left arm to the T. Then inhale, send the left leg over towards the right side of the room. And gaze over the right shoulder. Next breath, inhale, bring the leg back up towards the ceiling, left hand to the strap, right arm to the T, and inhale, open up the hips to the left side, keeping the right hip to the ground. Inhale, leg up towards the ceiling, and you can go ahead, bend both knees in. Hands onto the feet into happy baby pose for our final pose tonight. You can choose to stay in your happy baby pose, or if you want to, you can utilize the last 10 breaths for your own personal practice. So you can either do happy baby, or maybe hand to big toe, wide-legged. That's an option. You can also do inverted staff pose or a plow pose if you want to. Anything for 10 breaths. And then find your knees in towards your chest and take a deep inhale. Bring your arms above overhead. Then point your toes to the front of the mat. Taking a deep inhale in through the nose. And exhale through the mouth. And during the next few moments here in your Shavasana. Then as we align here in our Shavasana, I picked a quote that resonates with energy by Albert Einstein, that the release of atomic energy has not created a new problem. It has merely made more urgent the necessity of solving an existent one. So then as we begin to start to bring some micro movements from our toes and our ankles, our fingers and our wrists, you're more than welcome to stay here in your Shavasana, or if you would like to continue on with the rest of your day, you can start to find these movements, reawakening your body. Taking a deep inhale, bring your arms above your head and your knees in towards your chest, and letting it out with a cleansing sound. And you can guide your knees and your upper body to the side. And then once you are ready to make your way up to a seat, you go ahead and navigate yourself there. And allowing your palms to meet into the heart center. From here, you can take a bow for yourself and for all your climbing neighbors who have joined us into this room today. To give yourself the gratitude for taking the necessary steps for the self-care. And to wish peace and health for the rest of your night. And namaste. Well, thank you all for coming to the 6 p.m. section of Yoga Tonight. If you wanted to dive a little bit deeper into the Kundalini pose or going into some sequencings for the next class, you're more than welcome to come and join. Other than that, I hope you have a great rest of your night, and I'll see you later. Bye.